What is up, guys? It's your boy Nathan, and welcome back to Sports Nut Nathan. And we have a guest today. We are going to talk about game week 1 and whatever ensues just before the transfer window ends. And without further ado, let me introduce my guest. We have Animesh from MUSC Mumbai, or Football Bloody Hell on YouTube.
Yep.
Welcome,
Yep.
welcome, Animesh. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm grateful that we finally get to catch up with fellow United fans. While obviously MUSCM is called United, United through and through. First supporters club, official supporters club of India. But while doing a YouTube journey, obviously we predominantly want to be a United channel. But you've noticed that off late, you end up talking to such a big community that sometimes it's hard not to have a fair conversation where we see United with a harsher light. But coming back to talking with you, I hope we are on a more biased streak right now with our club.
I'll be honest. I have a horrible reputation of being very neutral to the point where my own subscribers don't quite enjoy the fact that they can't get a reaction out of me.
That's why I said I hope we are on the same page because I tend to be a little too neutral too off late. Because after
Yeah,
a point, you can't help but look at the narrative and not be blind, right?
yeah. I believe I told you this in the when we were on Ankit's channel. I was like, it's waning on me now. Like I can feel the pressure of just being positive for positive's sake, because it's like you can't pretend like things are perfect, like this is the third
Yeah,
season. See, we all have a reputation, right? As United fans, we expect differently, and we haven't gotten as such in the last 11 years. But the problem is that, and I always say this to people, but I feel like you have to be over certain. I don't like doing the age thing because it's quite demeaning, because YouTube in general is catered to a younger population, and you have to know that for
yeah,
a fact, whether you like it or not, right?
yeah,
So the thing I feel bad is that a lot of our YouTube subscribers have never seen us win a title. I feel for them that way. I genuinely do. I can. Their frustration must be way worse than ours, because the fact that we are older, no, we can say for a fact unequivocally that football ebbs and flows. That's just the way it is. You don't have to like it, but it's true. Like, for example, Rohit's a Madridista, right? He's a Real Madrid fan. I'm sure he's a young fan. If I tell him Real Madrid didn't win a European title in 30 years, I don't know if he'll believe me or not, or maybe he already knows that because he is a Madrid fan. Today, it's very different.
yeah.
Today, it's very different. So the fact is, football ebbs and flows, but it does not. It's starting to creep up on you. Like, it's becoming so unacceptable that we cannot just rely on the fact that we used to be successful, so now we're okay with not being successful, or we are just riding the wave until it's our time again, because there's only so much you can ride the wave before you go, you know what, I'm going to start walking now. I don't want to swim anymore, like I don't want to swim back to the waves. I'm done. So
Yeah.
it's quite frustrating. And a lot of people are like, Nathan, stop taking up for Ten Hag, stop taking up for this team, stop taking up for the play. I'm like, listen, I don't have a choice, because this is all we have. We have two choices. We can either watch and just cope however you want to cope, or we can not watch. And I will never take the option of not watching. I've not gotten to
Yeah,
that
of
point
course.
yet.
Of
I know
course.
there will be, I am 100% sure there are people who have gotten to that point. And to those people, I will not call them a fake fan. I will not call them anything, because I truly understand how frustrated they are, because a lot of young fans have never seen success. And there's only so much abuse you're willing to take online, especially nowadays, where you go, you know what, it's not worth my mental health. I'm just going to do something else with my time, which is absolutely fair. But for the more initiated people, i.e., older people, we are going to ride this wave until it's, I don't know where we're going to end up, but we're just going to keep riding this wave till it gets somewhere.
I mean, look, it's not about it getting somewhere also, right? And I kind of get what you're saying. It's just about does it, look, it's a battle with yourself, really, right? Tomorrow you're like, do I really want to start watching? Or do I really want to stop watching? What will the rivals think? What will this one think? Is that what you're thinking about? Then you were never a true fan to begin with.
Yeah.
And again, if you are a casual football fan in this day and age with YouTube, there are a lot of younger people, like you said, who are casual football fans or are casual sports fans. They casually log into football, they casually log into F1, Thanks to the documentary, they casually watch tennis, and that's okay. That's how this generation sees things, right? Our generation a little bit is more been on the times of, hey, we picked one team, we picked one bloke, we picked this guy,
Yeah.
and we see it through.
Yeah.
Everyone comes from a different walk of life, a different part of the world, different understanding. Now, coupled with that, you have different OTT platforms which kind of cater to different audiences, and they see even Premier League, even if they have older siblings, family members watching United, Liverpool, Arsenal, right? And I'm not being a big here. I'm just genuinely, I don't know any Man City fan who's had family in India at least who supported Man City. It's just I'm talking logically about since I've been watching it.
Yeah.
And there have been people who are like, I want United to win so that I don't
Yeah.
get banned by people I gave shit to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but it sucks. You gave it, so take it. And
Yeah.
that is the kind of thing, like I said, a lot of people I know right now, some of them have stopped watching a few matches because they're like, oh, United is hopeless. I want to give up. And I ask them, they're like, dude, it's so bad. Like, we're getting trolled the whole time. I'm like, that's not a reason to stop watching. Are you genuinely fed up by your thing? I'm wasting my time and just me personally, I don't want to watch. Sure. That's like you said, that's fair. Do you want to stop watching because you can't take banter from other people? Then that for me is, I question where you started watching for. And again, not about loyalty. It's just then how serious were you anyway, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of different avenues to this. So like you
Of
said,
course,
either
yeah.
you
I
can
mean, like there are people with like tattoos of our players on them. I mean, I would never
right,
ever go and ask question if they're committed to the club or not. I would just keep walking because no matter what anyone says, there are levels to it, right? Like when you put it on your skin. See, I know like we come from a culture where tattoos. Well, now it's very different, but back then tattoos signaled something else. But nowadays, as a grown man, when I see someone with a tattoo, I'm like, this guy's real. Like I look at him, I'm like,
yeah,
shit,
yeah,
this guy's real. I'm like, oh god. Because normally people put, like a cross or like an om or like a god's picture or their family. But when you put your club on your skin, I'm like, what can you say? You can't say anything. You can't say anything about this.
no, yeah,
Yeah. So my thing is, so you know what? The people who quit, right? the I understand only one version of why people want to quit, which is we have been promised something and we don't get it. I feel that is okay. I would never, again, like I said, I would never. I just stop watching football. That's the way I quit. I don't quit by watching other teams or watching some other league. I'll just stop.
right.
But like I told you, in fact I told you this, I'm like, it's wearing on me that we are promised something and we're not getting it, and it's incredibly frustrating, and pretending otherwise makes you probably worse than a fake fan because you're just delusional. It's like you're okay with anything you get now, and I have not reached that point as a Manchester United fan. I am not okay with just anything. It's not about where we finish in the league. I'm talking about even football wise, just how we play. I'm not okay with anything.
You're
Like
discussing
what.
basically what is the different level of acceptance, right?
Yeah.
Acceptance is, hey, we had injuries last year, we couldn't play a certain style of football, versus, hey, accept that this team can never finish beyond sixth.
Yeah.
Like we discussed last week, I said this team is still sadly not title challenging team, but to
Yeah.
say you can't even try to take it till the end where you're second, third is like really then you're like very lowering your standards, right? Oh, if we finish fourth at the end, that's the best we can do. No, I believe with this couple of signings, yes, Chelsea
Yeah.
tough, Spurs are tough, us Villa are tough, Liverpool, whatever they'll be in the race. You can't not tell me that we don't have to go at least as far as we can to push third to second, second, third. And if in that whole mix you get injuries in the end and you end up falling to fourth,
Yeah.
or if Chelsea kill it and Spurs kill it and you
Yeah.
don't manage to beat them, well, it is sad when I can
It's
accept it
more
that hey,
it's,
you
it's more
tried.
acceptable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you tried. If I look in December and people are like, no, look, it's like we needed one more signing. The left back was not there. The left back's not going to be there. Now we know it.
Yeah.
So now I expect the manager.
Well,
I feel
actually, we might sign Chilwell. We're winning the
so.
league.
That's the thing
That's
we
all I can
discussed,
say.
right? I joked about this with you and Ankit Bhai. I like imagine United go from Shaw. And I want if you had to ask me this 5 years back, Chilwell should have said hands down Chilwell. I had always maintained this. You can see one of my older videos of Football Pundits on the channel. I said for me Chilwell was better. It's not a new thing. But to go from Shaw injured to Malasia injured to Chilwell injured, I won't be surprised if January we activate the buyback clause for Alvarez and finally get him back. So
That's exactly what I was saying. I'm like, why did we? You know what? I hate being like a broken record, but I was like, why did we get rid of Alvaro Fernandez? I actually, and now that I know that we heard yesterday that we were going to sell Malasia, it makes even less sense that we wanted to sell Alvaro Fernandez now, and it's really frustrating because you can't blame Ineos for this. Like this is crazy. Like everyone just blames Ineos now. It's like the new thing. I'm like Ten Hag is should be the one who decides to keep or not keep players.
Yeah.
You can't tell me otherwise. Like you either you defend Ten Hag or you defend Ineos. You can't defend both. You can't have both sides. You can't be like, oh, it's a circumstance. They have all together decided. I'm like, bullshit. This can't be. This can't be. Like, it has to be either he's in charge or they are in charge. It can't be both.
Like I
It's
said,
just not
left back
possible.
is very fixed, right? This is the one thing I think as fans we should be allowed to criticize 3 games in immediately. If something catastrophically goes wrong with the left back situation, where then it's Mazraoui Dallo completely going ham for that 2 3 months because we don't have anybody available, right? That's something Ineos themselves. Well, you can't blame. Okay, so this is where we say blame, right? So Ineos know they're fixing things, and they're like, "Look, buddies, we told you we can only fix so much at a time. I can accept that."
Yeah.
But then when you're actively saying that, look, we have a problem with left back, but we don't think we can get anybody on loan, is something that is I will criticize. If of course if it's in PSR and FFP, right? I won't believe that you can't get in someone at loan last ditch also, because we know today already, Nathan. We know that we have one wing back less. We know it could be a problem if Shaw and Malasia don't come back soon.
Yeah.
So that is where I'm like, hey, Ineos, okay, sir, Jim, I get it. You said be patient. I'll be patient.
Yeah.
If we suck everywhere else off the pitch, on the pitch, I'll be fine. We'll give it time. This is something we knew it needed addressing
Yeah.
back last year,
Yeah.
just like DM this year. I just hope we plug in that gap somewhere. Like there
Yeah.
has to be something. You
So
can't be like
yeah.
hands up, we give up.
Yeah.
We need something over there, because imagine we do well till December and then we start trailing off, all because hey, in January we can't sign people now because XXX, and now we are signing a left back on loan. Why not get the left back on loan right now?
Yeah. So just to answer, just to clarify, guys, we are doing game week 1 discussion, but we started off with United. There's two things I don't find acceptable that fans just constantly make an excuse for Ten Hag, and we discussed this even off screen. Style of play. Now, Animesh, I'm going to be very frank here. This is probably where I am negative at the most. I think you know that already. Correct me if I'm wrong first. Before we even talk about our team, when Jurgen Klopp came 8 years ago, did he not straight away put the style of play in the team? Do you not remember the Liverpool players gassing out and they having a very injury-riddled season and they
Right.
finished eighth? And but
Yeah.
they played the style even though they didn't have players. Do you remember that?
Well, I know he tried to play the style. I know
Yeah,
that
he tried,
they
but
didn't.
that was the style, right? That's what I'm saying.
A year and a half is what it took. It took him a year and a
Yeah,
half to get into this. Yeah.
fair
But
enough.
yeah,
But from day one they were playing the style, right? Without the people necessarily, right? Okay. Forget that. Let's that just put that to the side for a second. Last year, Ange had a bunch of players. Remember, one in a couple of games he played all fullbacks, right? But he played his style, correct? He
yes.
definitely doesn't have his players. We know that for a fact because we've been hearing Spurs fans say get rid of the almost the whole team for years now, right? So he still played a style. Okay. Now fast forward to the last 3 years. Why have we not played his style of football even though we don't have the players? This is the only thing I can't understand. And I hear fans, people we follow, people we watch, I will not take names because it's not important, that they keep going style of play, don't compare this person to that. I'm like, listen, irrespective of where they are on the table, right? We're talking about style of play strictly. They have been playing that style of play. So I will compare them to Ten Hag because we're talking about style of play. We're not talking about people who are in the team. In his first year, he did not have injuries except to the center back position. We didn't play that style of play. Second season, listen, it is what it is, but we still didn't play any kind of style. Yesterday, I saw that Eric Ten Hag in his first 116 games has won only three more than Solskjaer, but Solskjaer got dogs abuse. You know me, dude. I have been very frank with you. I hated the fact they went after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I love that man. I was absolutely devastated after Watford. I saw the video. I couldn't watch the video. Him and Phil Jones, same year, that video, it just made me sad overall. It took me back to some other time where, it used to be a lot nicer for us in general, irrespective of banter. So I just realized one three, and now everyone's going, oh yeah, he won an FA Cup and a cup. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. But he's only won three more games. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had a worse team than Eric Ten Hag. He did. If you go player for player, he had a worse team than Eric Ten Hag. Remember how we started the game week going, oh my God, after 3 years, we're going to start Lindelof and Maguire. He started Lindelof and Maguire. That's where it started. I'm like, you take the cups aside, he's won three more games than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. How many more excuses are we actually going to give him? I genuinely want to know because it's not looking good. It's like we are just going to be filled with copium for the rest of the season already. We're just going to be coping, drinks, going out, skipping games, hanging out with friends. It feels like it's going to be one of those seasons where we just go, you know what, again, no style of play, didn't get the players. Let's all just check out and see you next year. So, what do you think about what I just said in general?
So for me, it's two ways. Look, something one of my friends have asked me. A lot of people ask me this, and they want to be like, "Oh, let's talk about style of play." I firstly don't give a shit about style of play. Look, I'm very different. I don't care about how you play. I care about winning.
Yeah, I agree.
These people keep talking about Sir Alex Ferguson's football, and back in the day, right? So Alex Ferguson knew. Hello, I hope you're still here. So Alex Ferguson knew back in the day, and yes, it's Alex Ferguson. He was a master. You remember the run we went on when Van der Sar had the most number of clean sheets, most number of minutes without goal conceded, etc.
Yeah,
Why did he do that? Do you think Sir Alex Ferguson was like, let me challenge myself? I'll make sure my attackers don't score a single goal beyond the first one, and that's it. I'm going to defend. No, it's about understanding what your team can do and what your team can't do. Now, Sir Alex Ferguson at that point was a manager for 20 plus years, so he obviously was a master at it, right? So for me, style of play, like I said, I spoke about this in our videos, and people were like, are you contradicting yourself? No, see, there are two ways of looking at it, so I'll explain it very clearly. You need to have a style of play. When I mean style of play, I mean like you have a plan A and plan B, bhai. Bas.
yeah,
अगर जो ये मेरे पास ये players है, ये players नहीं है, depending on that, you set up your team. Okay, I'm going to be like, no, I'm going to have Ten Hag ball, which everyone wanted in the first season. He played this way at Ajax, he will play the same at United, right? This is not talking about the players he had or didn't have. Factually, you can take Ten Hag. If he would have gone to Man City, he could have played Ten Hag ball. If he would have gone to Arsenal, he played Ten Hag ball. Just to contest your point, then Nathan, you
yeah,
can't play Ten Hag ball with from Ajax with Lindelof. You can't play that with left back who's not there. I will tell you one more thing that we will say this, but we already knew this. He knew this. Yeah, but again, like I keep telling you, people have sold United so charmingly, and when they come in, like Mourinho came out. Mourinho came out fully whacking out, right? Saying,
yeah,
what history of football? What Champions League history? You only won two in the last X amount of time, right? Or you won three overall, right? So same thing. There's a lot of things coming from outside, inside is coming from inside, seeing it actually, right? Ole Gunnar
yeah.
Solskjaer
But
was a beautiful guy because he protected.
just before I interrupt you, sorry. Even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of all people actually spoke out, like on the Gary Neville podcast. He said similar things. I believe he said that before he came to Bombay. Did you see the podcast? Stick to football. He said the same thing. He said
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
some people didn't want to play, some people didn't want the captaincy. I'm like, yeah, but
He
you have to
was
keep the
yeah,
same energy for
he said that to
exactly.
us at the Bombay event indirectly, and he was being very respectful, right? And people joked about Scott McTominay to him, and he just said in that interview in person with us, right? And he said, but Scott McTominay always put his hand up, and he was the best in training. And that's to tell you that it's not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was not clueless. He wasn't a PE teacher. He was given a set of players, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go for the guys in my lineup who train, who are fit, who show up. That's how your McTominays were there. That's how he spoke about Fred. He said Fred was industrious. He wasn't skillful. He's not.
Yeah,
This is not what he said. We knew that he's not
yeah,
skillful. We
yeah,
knew he doesn't have the talent, but you need an industrious player. Uh, just going back to that and linking up to what we have right now,
yeah,
right? Style of play. I am someone who says I want him to play a certain way against the big teams, certain against the low block teams. As a manager, as a coach in
yeah,
football, he should know by now with these set of players, how can I just beat these teams? How can I
yeah,
compete in these matches against these teams? When it comes to style of play, I think it is like this very new age. Come on, I want to see this inverted
yeah,
fullback. That's his style of play. I don't give a shit. Just go and win. You
yeah,
have a decent squad of 12 players now. Go win the match, man. At least go
yeah,
win 70% of the Premier League matches.
yeah,
Why? You shouldn't have, you can have one or two bogey teams. Even Sir Alex had these hiccups against West Ham at some points. he used to have it against another couple of teams. You can have one bogey team. You can't have Brighton, Brentford,
Crystal
Palace.
Palace.
You can't have more than one. So that's what I mean. I don't care about style of play. Go beat them 1-0 again, but beat them. Show that
Yeah,
from last season, this season, I improved.
yeah,
I know how
yeah,
to beat these teams who stifle United, who come to Old Trafford, be like, "Arey, I can beat you again." No, you shut them down. You bore them, you annoy them, you frustrate them, you shut
yeah.
their away fans down, right? That's what I want. I want a manager to control the dressing room, and I want the dressing room to control the crowd. That's the style and mentality of football I want. Style of play. If you must ask me what I want to see, I don't think we have a team again which can play our old school window. You know, the 4-4-2. People want the 4-4-2.
Four
I
four.
spoke
I
to
want
my
the four. I want the 4-4-2, dude. Let's
so I
go.
spoke to my co-partner Sunil, right? And I said,
Anil.
come January, come January, if everyone is fit, if Hoyland is good, I wouldn't be surprised if we used to have two strikers always playing
Yeah.
at a certain point. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Xerxes and Hoyland with a Bruno Fernandes, right? Where the issue comes in is one of Rashford then and one of Garnacho won't be playing. You need that midfield control of, let's say, Ugarte, Casemiro with
Ugarte, Casemiro.
Mino. That means, does Bruno play right? Does Bruno play deep? So while I would like to see a 4-4-2, this conundrum still remains. How do you get the best out of Bruno by not pushing him out wide? Which means one of Garnacho and Rashford will be missing out. One of them will be on the left. So all of this thing aside, I would say, okay, Ten Hag, this is your time. Establish your best starting 11, injury free, hopefully, and let's see how you just go beat teams. And then I'll be like, December, mein, okay, I want to see something. I want to be like, I will watch this match anytime. I'll turn it on in the 80th minute. I know Ten Hag in the last 20 minutes plays a certain way. That's what I talk about style of play. I don't want to see what Pep Guardiola does. I don't want to see Ange Ball. I want
I
to see
don't.
us winning. I want to see the mentality. And like I said, I want this to percolate throughout. If you don't see that, it doesn't matter if he says, I want to go play 4-4-2, I want to play 4-3-3, I want to play 4-3-1, I want my inverted foot back. They're going to be
Yeah,
clueless with each other. It's not going to matter.
yeah.
I want to see this, doesn't mean it's going to happen. I
Okay.
want the
Uh,
team to win. I want them to have an attitude to win. And then they'll be, if once they're comfortable winning again and not shitting themselves with the ball in the feet, then they'll be like, oh, we can do this inverted thing. Oh, Mino can come and do this also now. Now there's less pressure on him to like go do this,
yeah,
right? That's when you get a style of play. Till then,
yeah.
let's forget about it. Let's try to see what he does in the next 5 to 8 game
No,
weeks.
no. So just to, you're absolutely right. So the reason I've been neutral all this time is because I all at the end of a absolutely disheartening game, I always say we get the win, so I don't care, right?
Sorry, one
The
second.
pro.
This was misquoted. Even Job Stamp
No,
came
no,
out and
yeah,
said
yeah.
this was all misquoted. There's a longer quote about this.
Yeah. Anyway, no, I just wanted to clarify because it's up there. So the thing is, right? So my thing is what? My thing is we were promised that. My thing is this is what we got him in for. See, my thing is not. I don't really care. I just want to win. I don't really. If I'm also being honest, I don't. But the thing is, the way it was sold to me, like how you go buy a new car, you get some slick guy say some bunch of buzzwords, and you're like, woohoo, like that's my thing. My issue is how I've been sold it. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'm like, listen, bro, if it works out, we're cheesing because our legend has come back home. But
Yeah, yeah.
but the thing is we're promised it, and the other thing is I don't like the fan base defending
But
his
who
poor
promised this to us?
performances.
Who promised us? Media did. Media did. I won't even blame the Glazers. It's not even the Glazers.
Yeah.
It's the media,
No,
right?
the
It's the
Glazers
media.
can't do anything. They can't
Exactly. It's
promise
the
us anything.
media.
They're,
The
they're
media
useless.
keeps selling this United agenda because United fans are plenty, right? So they
I
put this to
mean,
Twitter and they cook your brain up.
yeah. So my thing is so what, and also he had that also, to be fair, I mean, to the media or to whoever, he did have a reputation for changing his formations based on the players he did have at Ajax. He did
Right.
have that little bit of a reputation, no matter what. Forget what the media said. That he did come with that reputation. So I was like, okay, cool. What I don't like is our fan base making excuses for our poor performances because we can't play a style of play. That to me is unacceptable. We are better than 15 teams in that league. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. There's no one who can tell me Lindelof is worse than Anderson. I'm like, bro, Benfica, he came from Benfica and Barcelona and Atletico Madrid want him. Which player from Crystal Palace is wanted by Benfica and Atletico Madrid? You know what I'm saying? And someone
Yeah,
said
yeah,
ETH
yeah.
has to. Someone said ETH has to face Deserby's Brighton, Emery's Villa, Arteta's Arsenal, who Ole didn't have to face. That's my defense for current gaffer. My simple answer to you, my simple counter to that is I'm going to ask Animesh a question. I'm not going to answer it. First full season of Ten Hag, first full season of Ole. Who had the stronger team? Look at the players he had, dude.
I would say,
Like
look, the way Ole took over and the way he was going about things, it has to be Ten Hag who had a better team on paper. But
exactly.
to counter that question, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer went out and beat the pulp out of Pep Guardiola every time he could.
Who has the
So
winningest record? Who has the winningest record since Sir Alex has left after Pep? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
yeah,
So with the worst team,
yeah.
sorry, with the worst
Look,
team. Let
on
me put that
paper,
in
see, Nathan, I
brackets.
can agree with one argument. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying for the sake of argument to
No, no, I was
to
just
help you.
countering Ayush. I was just countering Ayush because this whole he had different tougher teams to face now. Well,
No,
Ole
no.
Gunnar Solskjaer had a worse
Look,
team in
you
general.
can
So
pepper it up. Okay, look, at that time you had Lukaku who was great. Whatever the jokes were about it at that point, he was versatile, he was quick, he was a number nine. We had Mason Greenwood creeping into the team. We had Rashford who was hitting his at that time we thought his next peak. Um, we had the weaknesses
Martial,
where
Martial was
yeah,
doing well.
weaknesses what we had at that point where we had ample of those weaknesses. If you remember, were not even that defensively, it was the midfield. We
Midfield,
at that point
McFred,
were stuck in the we have not replaced Michael Carrick. We were
Matic,
still on that, for 5, 6 years. The back's a miracle. We had McFred. That's where the team
Matic.
was weak. Now on paper, you tell me he got it doesn't matter whatever Casemiro's status was, whatever it was. He got Casemiro and he had Ericsson.
Yeah,
Yes, they gave him only 1 year, but for that one
yeah,
year, this was a better team hands
yeah.
down than the midfield he had, right? So
Sure, yeah. So someone wants to know. We were having this discussion in length yesterday, watching the Spurs Leicester game, because I was kind of fuming how we can't get the money for McTominay, but Emil Smith Rowe, who hasn't played for 2 years, is worth more. Now I heard that Joachim Anderson went for 30 million to Fulham as well, but they couldn't find the money for McTominay, who is off the bench, won more points for United than any other player in the league, and we
Sanderberg,
still can't
25 million.
Sanderberg as well. Yeah, and we still somehow can't sell McTominay. So Ayush wants to know how the hell is Broya going 30 million to Ipswich, by the way, in case you didn't know. And
Yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
can't get rid of McTominay. And Nketiah apparently is also going for 25 million. I forgot which team he's going to, but he's not Bournemouth. Is it Bournemouth? No,
No,
it's not
Bournemouth
Bournemouth.
have signed the record
Evan
signing of
Nielsen.
47 million.
Evan Nielsen. Yeah. So Nketiah is going somewhere for 25 million as well. So Ayush wants to know, why do you think it is basically?
For me, it's very simple, right? If you look at the way Chelsea is set up, if you look at the way Newcastle are set up, and if you look at the way Villa are set up, and if you notice what happened with Newcastle, Villa, and Chelsea right before the 30th June deadline, they were scratching each other's backs to, rotate the players around. And if
Yes,
y'all
sir.
anybody else here who's a rival fan who thinks it's a conspiracy, it's really not. It is
It's
well
not.
documented in the media. The media was wondering why is Chelsea buying an under 21 player of Villa who's barely played? Why is Madsen switching from Chelsea to Villa? Why are these player profiles are similar or rotating around, right? So coming to Broha, why are Chelsea able to offload? Chelsea are making lots of promises to the teams around them. You scratch your back, I scratch my back in the future, which is why Chelsea is able to offload the players for what they are able to offload for. If you look at it, even last season, Newcastle did something similar when they were able to send Saint Maximin to Saudi Arabia. There's a link between the fund which controls Saudi Arabia and a certain aspect of the Chelsea group as well. So Chelsea were able to get rid of. Let's not forget Koulibaly, who was pipped as one of the best centre backs in the world, went missing in Chelsea and has gone missing now since he's gone to Saudi Arabia, right? Similarly, Broha is commanding those fees because it's Chelsea and it's a local club and they figured a way out to help each other out, right? And
Yeah.
if you go look at the history there as well with the
Simply put, it's smart business, and
it's
we
smart
don't
business.
really.
Also, if you simply put it up, it's also if you look at the history of between the two clubs of
Yeah.
loaning players, it's just that. And if you say that why not United? Because United have been made a fool of themselves. Leave who's to blame for it. It doesn't help either. While Chelsea, no matter what Ted Bowley does, has also been very well oiled since the last 12 years. They know how to get business done. The people in the new team also know how to get business done. While they're going absolutely crazy spending money on people, they also know how to sell the players. And if that wasn't evident, just look at the last window, which now is gone to the background. But see how they got rid of certain players to get these players in. So yeah.
So Zakaria Singh, why are you talking about past? Actually, we aren't. We are actually talking about the way we are currently supposed to play, and already the excuses that the fans are making. Zakaria, we were talking about the past because we were comparing certain aspects of it and what we expect from this season. So technically, we brought the past in, but we weren't talking about it. It started off a different conversation.
Yeah,
In the meantime, so we should start game week one. I guess we'll start with United. We're already on it. It doesn't make sense going anywhere else.
yeah.
So now we're gonna, since someone said let's talk about right now, let's talk about right now, which is perfect. I got it up here, or we'll take it out for now. First and foremost, thoughts on the game.
Like I told you and Ankit, but I'm not going to harshly judge any player for a couple of game weeks till we are like mid September. But if you had to talk about a few things that I liked, let's say what I liked. I like the fact that Bruno Fernandes looks ready to go. He himself started last season little off pace. I like the fact that we have competition for a position on the right with Ahmad, Garnacho, and technically on paper, even on the left, because Garnacho can go there too. I'm liking the fact that there is some competition, so players can't rest on their ass. I'm liking what I saw with Mazraoui. I am liking what I saw with Casemiro. That gives me hope that he can at least give us 20 games out of 50 this year, and that's all we can expect from him. What I didn't like, same, not clinical at all. You know, it's to hope that in the preseason we could have ironed it out a bit, but on paper again, if you go see the report, we had six of our first team players not playing, right. So apart from Rashford, you can't expect the clinicality to come in immediately. Garnacho, that miss is what I'm talking about. But okay, look, he's rusty. He only came 10 days before that match, right? So let's forgive him. But I would still say we lack clinicality not only in finishing, but a certain very obvious passes in the final third, which is what worried me a lot last season. But it was game one, so I can let it go. But these are worries already. Not clinical in that passing in the last bit, and again, not when you're getting those chances, not clinical enough. The first Bruno miss, I can understand. The
No,
second one, instinctively, he can't go low. He has to go high. He
it's
has
too
to
high.
aim for the top corner.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything? Is there any person you felt is that's it? We're done. Like enough chances. Did you feel any kind of way that way? Because I told everyone, listen, I'm going to talk about this during the international break. I don't want to discuss before that. So so I waiting for the international break first before I make any judgment in general. But is
Right.
there any player you were like, yeah, I don't think he's going to make it to the end of the season by any chance?
Sorry, you're getting any disturbance from my end?
Earlier, now it's fine. It's fine now.
You're sure there's no noise, static coming or something? Because I was getting
No,
it.
so there was my. I think I could hear myself earlier, but now there's nothing.
Okay. Okay. So, sorry. So, like right there in the end, let's take this first.
So he saw a reel that basically predicts us winning the league, and he's wondering how people are this confident, basically. And technically, when we did the Premier League predictions, he also said he's winning the league. So he basically finds that amusing that that happened. I just wanted to put that up there. Good
Right.
evening. Tired of Rashford missing easy. I mean, listen, man. I don't know how to respond to this one. This is one I can't. I really don't know how to respond to. Like you can't. I don't know even know if it's beyond the point of excuses. I think officially, like maybe last season. I just when it comes to, it's sad because I would love to give you a reason as to why Rashford is finishing is become like this, but I have nothing. Do you have anything regarding Rashford's ability to finish? Okay, Animesh will be back for a moment. Put this up here in the meantime. What was it? Yeah, so the subs we made. As you can see, Onana gets man of the match. I'm sure someone in the chat will be quite amused by that. Get a nice little blue one here according to FitMob. So yeah, he got man of the match. I thought most of them had a good game. I felt Ahmad was eventually cancelled out, unfortunately, just because of his role. But then again, it is the first game of the season, so there's not much you can go on there. far as that is concerned. And then let's see some stats. Stats are 55-45. Hold on a minute. Can I put this up there? Hold on. Oh, okay, that's better. So yeah. So I thought we were all right. Xerxes obviously coming on past the hour mark and moving quite smartly around the ball. I thought there was a big difference when he came on personally. That is just me. I really thought that he made a big difference once he came on in terms of movement. But yeah, good reasons why we are winning the league. No comment. Not going to answer that one. Rashi is the alternate season guy. Watch him destroy PL this season. Hopefully. One weakness I found was in the midfield again. We were too easily getting the bypass from it. We need Ugarte urgently. Yeah, I don't know about that either, to be honest. I would love to be positive and say it's going to happen, but we've taken so long on Ugarte. I honestly wouldn't know how to answer that question even if I tried. So, your thoughts? So, I thought I would say one thing. Ahmad didn't have a good game in terms of he couldn't get much out of it except that possible penalty chance. I felt like he was kind of very isolated on the right. I thought that was a little bit of an issue. Not so much, but like, and I also noticed like Bruno was dropping to the right hand side, which meant Ahmad was kind of behind him as well a little bit. So Bruno dropping to the right became a little bit of a problem. Clearly, as soon as Xerxes came on, the movement of the ball was better, and obviously he got that poacher's goal. He was just running. He started the movement. Bruno started it, passed it to him. He gave it to Casemiro. He went. Casemiro took his time, and then the ball came where it came. McTominay was lurking there as always. Towards the end, but Xerxes got
Yeah,
there
that was
first.
that was surprising because I guarantee you if Xerxes misses it, McTominay was scoring the winner right there.
Yeah. So
100%. He took his
Aditya is
time.
a big fan. Aditya is a big fan of McTominay. He's a Madrid fan, and he was like, no way he scored. I'm like, no way he scored. And I was like, did he really score? I was like, and then we had to like see the replay because it looked so confusing based on the angle we got on the TV. I was like, did he actually score that still? And then it turned out that he didn't. But still, he was right there, just lurking away as always.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
so what what I liked? The one thing I liked was, and I did see that in preseason with different players. This is one thing I would say about our new style of play that I actually enjoyed. I really saw that difference. The counter pressing and the pressure up front. Oh my god. I saw that in preseason, and I saw that for the first 30 minutes, we were strangling them. We were genuinely strangling them. You could see Bernd Leno look like this. It's going to be a long day for him. And you could see Marco Silva like graying as the minutes are rolling by. And I'm like, okay, I like this, but half of the team didn't play any preseason. They're going to gas out. And rest assured, Mainu gassed out. Eventually everyone
Yeah,
did gas out. So I was
yeah,
like, hold on a minute. If we play like this, now I wish we didn't have a Euros, because if they were training like this from preseason, we would have strangled Fulham for sure last week. So that's what I was worried about. So I don't know if you like that or not, but for the first 30 minutes, it's just absolutely suffocating. And I was like, oh my God, what are we watching here? Half of this team didn't even play preseason. But then they
yeah.
started
But
obviously running out.
answering your earlier question, if you notice that when we were doing the counter press and you're playing well in the first 30 minutes,
Yeah.
it's actually when we had a very average game from Rashford and
Yeah.
Ahmad was doing better
Yeah.
because that suited the way Ahmad wanted to play, the way
Yeah.
Bruno wanted to play. But as the game went on towards the end of the first half, Bruno got a little lost about where he had to be. After those two chances, where he didn't get those chances, I believe Fulham kind of figured the game out, stuffed Rashford out completely. Ahmad dropped off. We went into the second half looking to change it up a little bit, where finally we got rid of the whole Bruno false nine BS. We let Rashford kind of preoccupy that position, but that completely killed Ahmad's game because Ahmad was not getting anything from anything from Bruno, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why Mount was then it also affected Mount's game because then
Yeah.
Bruno was affecting Mason Mount's game in the second half.
Yeah.
So that's something I want to see interestingly how that's going to work.
Okay.
Is it that we're going to let Mount and Bruno keep playing till Mount just gets his feet into the game, into this team? Or are we going to say, look, no, I'm going to try this one more time against Brighton. And up against Liverpool, I'm going to let Xerxes go up top. I'm going to let him bother Van Dijk and Konate. I'm going to let Bruno be what Bruno does. I'm going to have Rashford, Garnacho, Ahmad in the team. What I would like to see, what excited me is Mazraoui, like I said, but
Yeah.
he didn't look like someone again who's had a good fitness-wise preseason. Although he did train with Bayern Munich,
Yeah.
but even Ten Hag said he's not fit yet, and I
Yeah.
don't want these guys to burn out.
Yeah.
So what I'm interested to see is how now in all of this Delight comes in, because he himself needs to train a little bit more. So does Ten Hag throw his match plan out? Does Maguire immediately get benched against Brighton? Does he go with Delight, Martinez, Mazraoui, and Dallo, and Casemiro, Mainu? That's what I want to see. That's what's exciting me after looking at this match. Does he stick to something?
Yeah.
Does he say, I want to build my style of football? I want to build with these players. Or is he going to be like, you know what? I'm going to have 9 guys in my team, or 8, 9 guys who are fixed. And every alternate match or every match, I'm going to have 3 guys who come in. That's what I want to see. That's why I say, let's see the style of football. Let's see how he does it.
Yeah.
But to this match, the first 30 minutes, like you said, we could have had them 2-0. But that being said, if the Ander Pereira's pass goes through, it
Yeah.
goes back to
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
oh, here we go again, and Fulham are
No,
pushing back.
I think that was only I think that was an issue because we have been doing this for a long time where our wingers keep the ball for too long, we lose it, and then our other players are out of position. If I'm not mistaken, Andreas Pereira's ball was because our winger kept the ball for too long, right? And then he got hit on the
Yeah,
count. The other problem is we don't have Maguire for recovery pace. Doesn't have, sorry, recovery. So that was an issue. I'm curious to see if he brings in Delict and we get hit that same counter ball. I'm curious to see the recovery pace because I was watching Leicester yesterday. I was like watching Vando and look like he's Dutch Usain Bolt just running after. I was like, this guy is insane, man. Like I saw the speed. I was like, this guy clocked the fastest speed last year. This guy, he just came.
and
It
he
was
came into
just
the season's first team immediately, and he had no qualms. He got injured, but he had no settling in phase.
yeah.
So with Delay, I want to see what Ten Hag does. Does he protect him a little
So
bit?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
and I think I agree with you. I think I would play Maguire simply because listen, hopefully we have learned our lesson from last season. Let's not play everyone injured, please. Let's
Yeah,
not play people injured. Let's not play people who haven't gone through the fitness procedures after every game. We don't have midweek games. We don't need to push the boundaries right now.
yeah,
We have got off the mark. Let's not do anything crazy. Spurs drew, Chelsea drew, we won. We got a couple of teams that we're competing with already, if iffy. So let's not go too crazy. Brighton started 3-0. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried just because it's Brighton and we've had that kind of luck. But I'm not feeling as I used to feel a lot less confident last season than the season before. I'll admit. I felt like Brighton were very dangerous. I feel this season I'm a little more relaxed. I saw that first 30 minutes. I'm like, you know what? We could struggle. We could strangle them too. If we wanted that goalkeeper, I forgot his name, Verbruggen. I've seen Verbruggen make a mistake. I've seen Steele make a mistake when they pass out from the back. I'm like, you know what? We could, we could get something out of this if they get too overconfident easily.
and
Like
respectfully to Everton and to Sean Dyche, it was a very unlike Sean Dyche performance to begin with. Also, so
yeah,
Everton were really slow and they were missing players. They didn't have Branthwaite. They didn't have Keane. They had their own set of players missing. Coleman, a core part of that team, 3-4 players who were very important are not there. While saying that, Brighton were lethal, irrespective, and
yeah.
disruptive.
I mean, look at Welbs, yeah. Goal and
I'm not.
assist.
I'm a little worried again because I'll be like, okay, one more challenge. But that
Yeah,
being said, even if you beat Brighton, I won't be like, bring on Liverpool, you're going to destroy them.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still going to
yeah.
be like, let's just
Yeah,
see,
yeah. We have
let's go 6 games. But I
sure.
can see with some optimism that maybe
Yeah,
this time we can trouble Brighton a little, although it's away. We
yeah,
can sustain some pressure and maybe get that goal on the counter.
sure.
Then does he change the team? All of that is in my mind. What will we see? I'm not sure myself.
Yeah. What do you think about Vedant's reasoning? Seems logical. Delict has
Uh,
won his debut league. ETH is upgrading domestic trophies every season. GTA is launching in 2025, and we have Anthony. The fourth one, I'm a little worried about. The other three, the other three, I don't mind.
I mean, if we had to, we had to win the Community Shield, right? That's the upgrade. That's the most
Yeah.
important trophy of all. The McDonald's, no, it's not McDonald's anymore, but the Community Shield. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not being, like I told you, I'm not that fan who says don't expect the league. But genuinely, I feel if we somehow make it till there, and there's a case where Arsenal are shitting with injuries and City look like they're finally not doing a City, then there's a point to make that Liverpool and us, even though Liverpool are a better drilled team and a better cohesive team, even with Slot,
Yeah.
maybe we could be in throw our name in the hat, right?
Yeah.
But look, yeah, it's to go from where we were last season to win the league. Then people will be like, build Ten Hag a statue. And I'm not saying that, but I'm like, look, that's a stretch too far to even imagine. So while I feel we have a better back room staff, we have better hierarchy in place, slightly better players. Like I said, to push Arsenal and City to at least get to third but not give up is what I would want us to do.
Yeah.
To say from the start that we'll be lucky to do sixth or fifth is giving up too soon. That's accepting poorly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why
Not
are
not
we go? Why?
surely, yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. So hi from Yash saying hi from Toronto. Hello. Official Palestri leaves. Animesh already knows how I feel. He's up to date. He's up to date on my feelings. So I
yeah.
will not do that again. I want Antonio. No. Yeah, okay. In the chat here, people call Anthony Antonio Nazario. We enjoy the memes on this channel. Chelsea sold Havertz Mount for FT money. Now we'll watch them cook and enjoy with that Jackson, bro. Jackson is. We'll get there. We'll get there. My God, Jackson is just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. I think if we get Ugarte and Homoso and we let go of McTominay and Lindelof, we're a good squad to compete for the Premier League. If all our players are fit, or at least most of them.
But I don't think Hermoso will happen. Even if we let go of Sancho and or Lindelof, I think we've capped our ability to sign and spend more money. So it'll be a loan. Like Ugarte is not a buy. Ugarte is a loan with the intention where PSG are like, Bob, we are not letting go of 50 million. United is like, you're getting shit this season, then we're going to pay you next year onwards. Because we've breached our
Yeah.
PSR rule,
Plus
sadly. So we
PSR, yeah.
can't. So even if I do believe, which if I read this correctly, even if we sell Sancho and Lindelof, maybe we get one more loan left back. I don't think we can sign permanently.
I have only the only thing I will say, we will move on to the other games, is I don't know about you, Animesh, and we'll find out.
Yeah,
But I am going to not make as many excuses for him this season. That's
yeah,
all. That's all I can say.
fair.
Uh,
And that's fair.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, I still don't want to let go of whatever standards and memories I have of my club. If I that sounds like an extreme statement. Like when even after saying it, I can hear it that it sounds extreme. But like I told you, I feel that I genuinely feel that way. I feel very compromised as the seasons go on. So I don't want to let go of that. So I think I will be more harsh this time. A lot of people are like, "Oh, English rant man, get ready, he's coming." I'm like, dude, the thing is, there's no point ranting because first of all, your own mental health will get ruined. Second of
Yeah,
all, you're screaming into the abyss because nothing is going to change once once the transfer window is done. You can scream now. You can scream now till September 2nd. You can scream as much as you like, right? We don't have this guy. We don't have that guy. We this person's whatever. Soon as it's September 2nd, we have to all put our heads down and pray to God we go as high to the top as possible because there is no excuse. Now the great thing about the transfer windows, there's always anomalies, right? That's why we enjoy it so much. Oh, who's gonna go here?
yeah,
Who's gonna go there? September 2nd,
yeah.
everyone's locked in. Everyone's listed as whatever the players are in each team, and you gotta go with that. It is what it is. So I am honestly keeping a close eye on that. Someone is saying we are picking Amas at left back, we won't buy. Here's the thing, Zakaria, right? And this is one thing I heard. I didn't hear the press conference, but Ten Hag, there's one thing I've noticed. Ten Hag, either it's the language barrier or Ten Hag is doing it on purpose, which is even more frightening. He says that I will only pick players when they're ready. Yet he picked Ari Amas to play all the preseason, right? Give him the exposure to play, maybe to loan, maybe not, whatever. Then he picks other players around the same age and plays them. So either he's not ready because he's not ready, or he's too. like a lot of people are making this excuse, we don't want to play Amas because he's too young. I'm like, no one said that about Rooney. No one said that about Fabregas. No one said that about other players. They were all boys playing men's sport in different positions. What are your thoughts on Ari Amas? Because I'm like, if we don't have a left back and he still doesn't play Amas, I am blaming him because we can't do an Alvaro Fernandez for a second
So
year in a
on
row.
that, he was asked after the Community Shield, and he said he
Yeah,
still has a lot to do to be ready. So basically, I think what Tenak meant was, look, he did well in preseason when he rocked up to train for a match against Man City. Clearly, he did see something that he wasn't sure that this guy can go play Man City. I think he was very clear about it, that he has a way to go
yeah,
before he can play. So I think that Tenak's thoughts are clear over there. Does that mean that he's not going to play him at all this season? No. But he's let us know that the guy needs to train a bit better. He needs to be a little more solid. Now,
yeah,
what exactly does he mean solid with? We don't know. Was it that the training
yeah,
wasn't good enough? Was it that we feared the physicality going into big matches wasn't there for Premier League matches? But he said, look, he needs to do more to be ready. That's what his clarification was.
yeah.
And I'll buy that because he gave a
Okay,
reason. He's not
okay,
doing enough. He has to do more to be ready. Okay.
okay.
But like you said, if we are struggling and if he doesn't already punt him for a while, I'll just be like, it can't be that bad that you can't punt the guy in a match or two.
Exactly.
It's definitely better than playing Palestri at right wing back.
Yeah. You know what, Don? Why did you have to do that? Why did you have to do that?
I had to. I
Why?
had to.
Just
I
let
was
him
waiting.
go, dude. Like I was so sad. Like no, I don't want to get into it.
Let's move on.
So
Let's move.
yeah, no. What I was saying is right, and this is one thing I will criticize our fan base on. I think you and me are actually on the same page, if I remember correctly. Everyone was like, "Oh, we got to get Lindelof out of here." I'm like, "What? You mean the guy who played left back when we had no left back last season, and everyone went, he's not good enough. Yeah, he's not good
And
enough because he's playing
kept
left
Salah in
back.
his pocket. And kept Salah
Yeah,
in his pocket in that
no,
match.
but my thing is no. This Lindelof scapegoat business by the United fans is the most interesting thing I've ever heard.
Look, I
Harry
wanted
Maguire is wanted
Maguire
by
over.
Fulham.
I wanted Maguire gone over Lindelof last season as well
Yeah,
because I
of
know
course,
Lindelof
me
is
too.
for a squad player. Lindelof can do more than Maguire can. In that position as centre back, it's a coin toss who's better. But if you want a squad player, a fourth player,
Yeah.
Lindelof's a better
I
player,
mean,
right?
how extremely versatile. Don't forget the connection he has with Rashford. He loves hitting those long balls. If we get the ball and we have an opportunity to break. How many assists did he give for Rashford over the seasons?
Yeah.
And my other thing is, hold on, guys. You know what? Forget whoever has the agenda, whoever thinks Lindelof's not good enough. Just use your brain for a second, okay? Maguire is wanted by West Ham and Fulham. Lindelof is wanted by Barca and Atletico Madrid. Think about that for a second. Just think about it. Okay, forget what we pay them, forget how much we spent on them. Think about who wants your player when you're trying to get rid of them, right? Forget the salaries, forget how much money you're going to get from it. Just think about who wants you, right? In the point of when we are trying to get rid of players, we only care about people wanting our players. See who wants Maguire and see who wants Lindelof. Lindelof just gets abused. I'm thinking to myself, right back, left back, center back. Apparently, he played DM at Benfica. Maguire can't play anywhere. He can't play anywhere except centre back. And that too, I think he can only play centre back as a back three. My personal opinion. Happy to be wrong. No problem there. He's obviously played as a back two all this time. So I'm not making any issues that way. I think he's best in a back three. And that's why he played so well in England during the last Euros, where before Southgate went to a back two again. Uh, and we are like, oh, we got to get rid of Lindelof. We need this money. I'm like, did you not learn anything from last season? How many injuries did we get last season? Did you guys not learn anything? Like they just like pretend like nothing happened last season. You all only want to go on about Shaw and Malasia being injured. You don't actually know like what is
I
the
think the
options.
scapegoating most coming from the fact that we know we need to get rid of players to buy players, so it's there
Yeah,
where it's come from.
yeah,
Unfortunately, it's also for a fact that we know getting rid of Sancho is becoming so tough because of his wages, right? And Dortmund are just waiting in the wings. They're like, haha, now take a 30 million offer or get lost. Because Dortmund want him like very cheap. They want to laugh in our faces by
yeah,
making us pay 80
yeah,
and they want it back for 32.
yeah,
Um, so who's the only player who can go, right? Ericsson's going on free, so there's no money there.
yeah, yeah,
Casemiro, no one wants to take his wages off either.
yeah.
So Lindelof, the only guy who we know who's going to go. That's the issue. More
No,
than
no, I am fair with that. But the way our fan base goes on about it, like get him out of here. He's not good enough. I'm like, bro, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Like you clearly don't remember the players we currently have in our squad over the last few years. We had Tuan Zebe who was on the bench or in the hospital. We had Jones who was on the bench in hospital. We had Rowe who was either on the bench in the hospital or very violent and get red cards. Like you people don't remember anything from the last 10 years. Like, and I know that's like attacking our own fan base. I'm like, you need to really remember who we have, what we have, quality wise, in order to complain about someone who's not good. When someone tells me Maguire's not good as Ferdinand, I'll be like, thank you, Captain Obvious. I didn't really require you to tell me that. But when they go, oh, Lindelof, when everyone makes it sound like Lindelof's the worst person in our defense, I was like, yeah, I mean, whatever, man. We have 37-year-old Evans that keeps getting a rolling contract. You can't chat to me saying Lindelof's worse than him. He had a fantastic season last season, but he also didn't play the entire season. And Lindelof only played at left back, which covers Ten Hag's ass for not having a left back because he sent Alvaro Fernandez on two dead loans. So, it's one of those ones. Also, don't forget, he won, he scored a certain penalty after Solly March was crying, I scored. Let's not forget that. So, I love that. I love that he scored the winning penalty because no one can take that away from him. I
No.
absolutely enjoyed it. I was like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting him out there. And shout out honorable mention to Veggie, with the dark arts in Solly March's years. Shout out to him. So I'm personally I'm not going to we'll just end this quickly. I'm not going to complain about this game anymore. I'm very happy with how it is. Personally, I am waiting for about 5 game weeks before I make a decision. But I am seeing his choice in his team selection is what I am actually only looking at the moment. So let's see what it is.
Yeah.
So we'll just quickly do the others because I mean we can go in depth of some of them because I actually
Yeah.
do want to get your opinion on some of them. Let's go backwards now. We got our team out of the way. We stress busted enough. Leicester City versus Tottenham Hotspurs. Tottenham looked devastating for 60 minutes. I can't believe I'm
Yeah.
saying it. They looked like they were going to swamp Leicester City, and I don't want to say the words. Swap is a Spurs fan, but Swap actually will admit it himself. He said, I've seen basically the same thing I saw last season, whereas we get them in the stranglehold and then we basically release it and then get punished for it.
The
So
term is
what did
called,
you
like,
think?
my good friend Alok, who's the
Yeah.
chairman
Yeah,
of
yeah,
India
yeah. Of
Spurs
course. Alok,
and
yeah,
South
yeah.
End Mule. He will use the same word. They did a Spursy. Very
Yeah, I
Spursy.
mean,
They call it
yeah,
Spursy.
I didn't want to say it because the thing is,
But
right, again, I want to
it's
apply the same I want to apply the same rule, which is it's only game one, like so I am also a
true.
little yeah,
But, like, let's say why it's sometimes joked about, and Spurs fans also take the banter in because they themselves say it, right?
yeah,
It's because Spurs have done this not after winning a certain cup or doing this. They've done this consistently every season on a different manager for the last, at least the last 8 to 10 years, when we've seen Spurs at least compete more, go to the Champions League, try better there, right? It's like always seem that they're in control of a match against the biggest team and they're going toe to toe and they're playing good football, no matter what Spurs team it was with. You can say inferior players compared to this also, and then they've somehow gone to either not finish and just completely blow it up, right? This match again, Spurs look. I don't know. Solanke looked good. Solanke didn't look like he's just joined the team.
yeah,
Solanke fit well in this team. Probably a lot credit goes there. Brennan Johnson to Son to Madison for letting a number 9 be a number 9, right? But I can tell you one thing. What I learned from this is that I do believe Ang will change his football a little bit. If the results don't flow the same way they did last time, I don't think he's going to go Ang ball all the time. It's not going to happen. He's going to smarten up. He's going to be wise because he is a wise guy. He comes with his own pedigree from where he came from Scottish League. People forget that he will adapt. We're not going to see that same, I'm just going to play this way no matter what. The results don't come, he will tweak because the squad has some depth to be able to play a different kind of football as well. But again, I don't think we'll see that till probably another 10 games in.
yeah.
I
I
do
think
believe Spurs,
he's going to be out of desperation he'll change because I still think he wants to try
yeah.
go as far as he can with his plan A, as people like to call
See,
it.
there's a reason why he's gone to sign Timo Werner again, right? And there's a reason why they've gone for Solanke, even though they have Richarlison misfiring. Son's pushing 31, I think, 31
Yeah,
ish.
yeah,
Probably his last good season could be this year, where he declines a bit from next year. Maybe he won't. So you have to plan a bit ahead. Now, are you telling me that hey, Son's suddenly out of this team in and out, and you're going to tell me Werner's better on the left, Kulusevski, John, Brennan Johnson? They're not better than Son. But then if you're talking about a system, Ang will find a way to make them tick and play the same way he wanted or what he wanted from Son last year, right? So I'm very interested to see what they do. I think beyond that, there's too much speculation with the lineup. And look, it was King Power Stadium. Leicester fans are mental anyway. Jamie Vardy is always being Jamie Vardy. So there's a lot of other elements going on. So let's not be too harsh again. But like I said, right, Werner being in this team is what confuses me. I didn't say Werner was better. I think he's really
No. He
disappointed.
said swap. He said for the system in case also for future planning, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, Son's on his last year of his contract as well.
that's what I'm
Swap
wondering.
can
Like, is
confirm.
why Werner? Is he trying to make a system? I don't know. But like, look, he's got Werner, and Werner's not going to just be on the bench, right? Werner's going to be there for Europe, sure. Uh, Richarlison maybe for Europe. Maybe he does Richarlison 20, 25 minutes in the league and does Solanke a big one by just letting Solanke play in the league. So at least they have depth to do all of this. So let's see how they play.
Yeah,
But I
I
think
agree.
beyond that, there's too much speculation now. So
Yeah, but I agree. Swap. I hear what Swap was saying because he came towards the end of the game and was quite frustrated. But see, it's not my team, so I don't want to tell people how to behave, right? Like no one would
of course,
want to hear. Yeah, but I
yeah,
also I have to take it into account because if he tells me game week 1, it's still the same. Then in game week 11, I'll go back to Swap and go, you know what, Swap, you were right. I was wrong because I said give it a few games and he didn't change. And then I can say that like, but I am not very comfortable and confident in saying that because unfortunately Spurs do have a reputation irrespective of coach. So I am a little hesitant to say anything about Spurs in general. All I
right,
will say is I picked them to finish fifth, which means I obviously rate their chances to actually do well this season. That's the only indication I can give by thinking where they'll finish. I wouldn't be surprised if they finish fourth personally. Now
yeah,
we will find out. We will find out, I guess.
yeah.
We will find out. Yeah. So okay, so that's there. Are you excited for any player in particular from these teams? Are you excited to see anybody else? Because Solanke I felt was very unlucky. It straight at the goalkeeper, picks aside,
It is
at least
it
he'll
is
force a
actually
save.
it is Solanke because I believe that he is making a step up in his career. Premier League proven because well he's played with a team which barely created chances. Well, not barely created chances. They're being very harsh to Bournemouth,
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
yeah,
To a team like a Johnson, Kulusevski, Son to his Madison, there are enough players. Like Bruno, we've criticized United. Bruno is the only guy creating in some matches.
yeah,
In
yeah.
Tottenham, that's not the case. Madison could be the guy playing behind the striker, but you have Son giving those passes, you have Johnson giving those passes, you have Kulusevski cutting in, right? So I do want to see how Solanke, with those chances which will come to him, does he go on to score 25 goals? Very interesting to see. So let's see.
Yeah. I am curious to what Swap said here. That's who I'm looking for. I'm looking to see Mikey Moore and Archie Gray because we were linked with Archie Gray, but then Leeds ain't going to sell anyone to us after Alan Smith. So you can
Right.
forget about that.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
happening anyway. But yeah. So hello, Dark Carnage. Welcome to the channel, Bernardo. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. That's the next game. Um, I am excited to see Archie Gray in particular. Um, I'm always curious to see who's the next up championship player that makes the move and see if he does well or not. So for me, Archie Gray, I'm very interested in seeing in particular. Like Bellingham vibes. Not like Bellingham, but like no one notices him. Birmingham City, it's a crap league. Although I count it as a top 5 league personally, but yeah. So anyway, we'll move forward. Manchester City, Chelsea. Bernardo comes clutching again. Bernardo's looking a little vicious. You notice like he has a little bite in him. I saw it in the community shield. He's like getting
But
into
he
fights and all. I was
always
like, he has a
does.
little bit of a
He
bite
always
in him.
has. I think it's
No,
he
but
always
is
overlooked
it?
because you had players always like of KDB, you have Foden, you have Grealish, who people give credit to, right? Julian Alvarez came, this one came, Gundogan was there. He's always been this way. He has always been a reliable guy. If you notice,
Yeah.
when Pep Guardiola was asked last year, before Gundogan went, Barca were lining up a 60 million bid
Oh,
for
Bernardo. Yeah.
Bernardo. and he was like really hesitant to let him go because he knew how important it was to his system. He was okay to let Gundogan go, but still not Bernardo. So that should tell you everything that you need to know about Bernardo Silva.
Yeah. And need I say anything about Erling Haaland?
Yeah,
Ball falls in his
looking good,
place, lovely
looking sharp,
finish.
fit,
Yeah.
everything.
That's what preseason does for you, man. That's why I was a little worried. I'm like, come on, man, we need a preseason. Like in the sense of all our players had the international tournament. So it was just yeah.
Yeah,
I was just looking forward to it. But yeah, looking forward to them having a preseason is what I mean.
yeah,
Crystal Palace,
yeah.
Brentford, no Tony, still Mbeumo and Visa on the score sheets. Part of the holy trinity of Brentford. They're still getting it done somehow.
And
Quite,
they've got players coming back, so I don't think they need Tony the way they're going.
and they get it. Fabio Carvalho made his debut
Yeah,
as well. I don't know about you, but the one person I always enjoy watching from Brentford is Matthias Jensen. I don't know what to
yeah.
expect from him. I really enjoy watching him play football. Like, it's weird. It's a very niche thing. I just happen to be doing Brentford. What's why I
No,
always
they
like
have
watching Matthias Jensen.
they have Rico Henry was injured unfortunately last year. He was good to watch. Rico
Yeah.
Henry down the wing,
I would
so
have
they
taken
have
I
a
would have
decent.
taken Rico Henry. I would have taken
Yeah,
Rico Henry. I
they
was so
have a
bummed
good
out.
bunch of players. Yeah.
Yeah. Aston Villa, West Ham United. Thoughts?
Villa looking good. Watkins looked a little off, but again, no preseason, so let's give it a few games.
I mean,
West Ham
Bailey should have
though,
squared it. Bailey should
yeah,
have squared it to him. Yeah.
West Ham though, all their signings have not played. They came off in desperation. He's going to let them gel a bit, Lopetegui. So I do believe West Ham will go strength to strength with Fulkrug being very number nine-ish, Premier League bullying people around. Very interesting to see how that works. I do believe that there is no saying, obviously, for battle of fourth, fifth, sixth, Chelsea United, Tottenham. You don't know which of Newcastle, Villa, and West Ham can make it to. It'll be very interesting season come February onwards when the European ties have been decided, who's there, who's not there, who's in the cup finals, right? It's going to be a lot of fun this league February onwards. It's going to be more fun than it's been in the last few years. 100%.
Agreed. I
I
agree.
do.
And thoughts on Bournemouth? We were speaking about Bournemouth. I just wanted to get this in here. Enes Unal, Justin Clivert, Antoine Semenyo is the front three now. Antoine Semenyo, former strike partner of obviously Dominic Solanke, gets on 86 minutes, scores. Chris Wood scores first for Nottingham Forest. Do you think Bournemouth with Iraola, you think they can manage without Solanke?
Yeah,
Started off well. You think,
yeah.
or do you think
I,
they might be going down possibly?
no, I believe the teams who go down eventually will be
Southampton.
Ipswich, Southampton. Maybe there's a battle there again of who beats the drop, but I believe it could be Nottingham Forest
And
as of
moving forward, Newcastle United won, Southampton nil, Newcastle 10 men. In my opinion, Shah making an absolute. I mean, he was the senior player out of the two. Just loses the school and
but it is too
falls.
soft. But that's what the football
No, it
is
is.
now.
It's too soft. But he fell for the trick. At the end of the day, Ben Brereton Diaz tricked him. That's
Yeah,
what really happened. Yeah. So
it's very
it's sad.
embarrassing, but yeah, he
Very
shouldn't have
embarrassing.
gone for it. Shouldn't have
We
gone for it.
spoke.
But Newcastle solid still got the job done. No
Okay.
Trippier there still. Yeah, no Trippier is a big one. Probably might let him go, might get him back. They obviously become stronger. No Botman in this team yet. So they still have their defense to like have their first choice defenders back that way, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Newcastle again are a team who spent a little bit of money. They're going for Mark Gay. They're going to try. If that move comes in, I would still say Villa will be the ones to look out for in terms of dropping because although Emery has and should get a lot of credit for the way he's played, Champions League with the squad rotation, and then coming up against West Ham are looking to take points off you, Newcastle looking to take points off you. It's going to be a fun season right there. I think
Yeah.
Newcastle will then get Wilson back by then. Callum Wilson's injured. They're letting Almiron go confidently. So they are okay with the squad they have. It's a big season for Gordon to see if he can replicate last season's form. So let's see what Gordon does.
The other thing I wanted to just say quickly was Crescencio Somerville. Oof, he looked electric.
Right. right?
He looked electric when he came. I was like, oh boy, this could be a fun 20 minutes.
Right.
Onana scoring a debut goal. Onana and Xerxes with the debut goals for the new teams. That was nice. I
Yeah,
like that.
that was good to see. Yeah,
We touched on Everton. Everton, I think, in my
yeah.
opinion, in danger this season. I think Ashley Young, my God, Ashley.
But they
Ashley Young, of
always
all
are.
people, Ashley Young, bro. Like just
I think he's done. I think he's done.
40
I
year,
think
40
he's
years old
really.
and he's holding hands, dude. Literally. 40 years old. Like, oh man. Really sad.
I think that's Everton's desperate state, right? They don't have any money, right? They have no money. Till
I
then, they
mean,
have to
yeah,
let
I
this
feel
small
bad
team.
for them. I do feel bad
They
for them.
they need someone to buy them out. There's a deal going on. It's on hold. They can't spend. And even if
The
they get the
one
deal across, what do they do by January if they're like
they
bottom?
can't do anything. They're
Then
stuck till
Everton
Jan.
finally
Yeah,
go down. Yeah. So
it's
let's see.
possible. The only thing I'm really sad about is it's another old stadium that's going to go away. That makes me feel I don't know why it's not my team, but I just feel sad. There's something about the old English stadiums vibes, though, that is the unmatched. The Loftus Road,
It'll be really
Craven
sad because they
Cottage.
go to the championship then with the new stadium. So,
Yeah, it's kind of like Luton, right? Luton went
yeah.
got out of the Kenny. The new stadium was being built. It was going to be there this year. It's kind of sad. Also, it loses the charm, in my opinion. Of course,
Yeah.
best thing, more fans in is always better, money wise,
Yeah. Yeah.
aura wise, atmosphere wise. But there's something about seeing these old stadiums go, dude. It feels shitty. I don't know. It's just my
Yeah.
opinion. It's a weird one. It's
No,
not
of
my
course.
club, but
Of course.
yeah.
Of course.
Because the Vitality Stadium still gives me vibes. Loftus Road, stuff like that. But anyway, Arsenal Wolves, Bukayo Saka
Best
goal and assist.
best team in the league for this game week, Arsenal. Look like they picked up from where they left off
Dangerous.
last year, reinforced in defense with players who can play on the wings and centre back along with the guys they already have. Only question mark remains if Saka finally gets injured this year, they have no backup for Saka. Everywhere else, with Merino coming in the midfield, they have a backup. They have a backup keeper. They have backup everywhere. If Saka gets injured, I believe this team is in trouble because there is no direct backup. There's no replacement. But apart from that, Arsenal look like the best team from last season this year. Like they've not skipped a beat times.
All right. And we'll finish off with Ipswich Town Liverpool. I'm gonna full disclosure. I was Ipswich are one of my teams to watch because I want to keep an eye on Leaf Davis because we were keeping an eye on him. I didn't watch the first half. Second half, I can't make you can't make this up. 5 minutes into starting the second half, they scored. I was like, okay, I joined in at the right time. What I was told is Ipswich were playing really well in the first half. Did you
They
see
were,
the game? Did you see
yeah.
the game? Tell me what your thoughts were.
Which is why I said I believe Ipswich might still go down sadly because the style of football that they play is very intense, especially at home. They'll go for wins, they'll cause trouble. But to sustain that throughout the season with the squad and the fitness against Premier League teams might be unsustainable. But they did give a Liverpool a good fight, which is why I said although Liverpool were clinical in the second half, the second goal which Salah scored was like a mistake from the left back.
Yeah.
And Liverpool did on work cause trouble. Although you can say Slot reacted well by taking Kwanzaa off, getting Konate on, and changing the way they put the balls ahead.
Yeah.
So I would still say, with Liverpool being troubled by Ipswich, Arsenal didn't look like they were that bothered. I would say Arsenal were the better team of the game
Yeah.
week.
I
But
agree.
Liverpool have a lot to a lot to figure in terms of if they don't get those midfield signings, how will they sustain their season? But yeah, there was enough fight in Ipswich to maybe get something out of that match. But eventually, just the quality of having Jota, Diaz, and Salah at your feet, right? It was eventually going to give way, and that's what happened.
For the record here, someone said the left back did pocket Salah entire first half. That is
Correct,
Leaf
but
Davis, the
then it was
person we are
two
talking about.
mistakes,
Yeah,
two
exactly.
mistakes and two goals, right? He messed
Yeah.
up. Salah got the better of him. Square ball to Jota.
No, fair.
He
That's
intercepted
fair. But
poorly.
but
Yeah,
but the fact that he can hang in the Premier League is a good sign for like us, for
game
example,
one.
because we are
Yeah,
interested. Yeah.
yeah,
Thought quickly before I get your prediction on just the United game for this week. Tuan
yeah. I
Zebe,
saw
I heard he
it
played
to
right
leave.
back.
Yeah.
Did he? Was he good? How was it seeing Axel back? Was he looking good? Like thoughts? Any thoughts particularly?
Again, like I said, in the first half, they all were good. In the second half, they were all overrun eventually. So Diaz and everybody rotating around with Jota also helping Diaz out. They they broke Ipswich down equally. So it's unfair to say that by far and large that the left back messed up. Salah got through both times,
Okay.
but I do believe Tuanzebe was
I
okay.
didn't know he could play right back. I'm just looking at it now. I'm looking at, I knew he was playing the game. I was like, right, the lineup showing
He,
he played
if I'm
right
not
back. I was
mistaken,
confused.
Did he play right back for us against PSG as well?
But
Or that
weren't
was a
we in
different.
PSG? We played a back three, right? We played a back
That's
three
he
against
was like a
PSG.
right back, right wing back. Was he
Right
switching
center
around? I
back.
don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. We
Something like
played a
that.
back three. Shaw, Lindelof to Anzebi, if I remember correctly.
Right.
No, but
I don't
still, I
remember.
was shocked. Like he's playing back four, right back. I didn't know that.
But
Like I was like,
but
why
they
didn't
do
we
have
use him?
Johnson on the free from West Ham, so
Hmm.
Johnson might get more chances. So let's see how
Yeah.
Tuanzebe plays there.
He's also used to the Premier League more, right? So he has that
Yeah,
little bit of more experience. To finish off, we're done with this. To finish off, Manchester United versus Brighton. Thoughts, summary thoughts, and then obviously your prediction.
I want to see an ugly 2-1 win. I'm okay if we all get bored. I want to see this team dig in deep, defend chances that are created against them. I want to see Onana passing out from the back in an away stadium. I want to see more minutes for Xerxes,
Yeah,
and I want to see if uh, United can be consistent 2 matches in a row, then three, then four. That being said, I won't be surprised if he sticks with Maguire. Although you assume that for Liverpool, you'll want Delight and Martinez there, right? Because
yeah,
White. But I won't be surprised if he sticks to Maguire one more game. But if he does switch to Delight, I think that's fine as well because eventually he's your number one pick there, not Maguire, right? So
yeah.
that's what I want to see. And yeah, I want to see us win a game 2-1. I want to see us irritate Brighton. I want to stifle their style of football and just come out on top in that duel.
Yeah. By the way, Vedant is a United fan, and he's doing the troll job that I told you about the ESPN thing. He's trolling me because you said that you want to see a passer back, and I was like, oh no. When I hear that, no, I just go, for the love of God, please. The only thing I want from Onana this year is please just, if you see a mic, no, run away. Don't, no more talking. No more talking for the rest of the day. Thank you. I appreciate your confidence. Whatever we see you taking risk, whatever, just please, you and Anthony, no, hold each other's hand all the way to the back of the dressing room, no, and don't come out until everyone else comes out to play and leave the stadium. Both of y'all, just don't say any words. We'll let Dallo do the talking. We'll let Bruno do the talking. Hell, I'll let Van Nistelrooy do the talking over you two. Just please don't say anything for the rest of the season. I'm like, I beg of y'all, because you know that's going to get clipped up. You can just feel those words are going to get clipped up, and we are going to get highlight reel after highlight reel. I just know it. Like, just please
I
mind your
agree.
own business.
I
Yeah,
agree 100%. And I'm like, just like, काम करना अपना भाई बाद में
yeah.
देख लेंगे.
My thing is, I want Xerxes to play because those chances Casemiro gave in particular. I want to see what a person with off the ball movement that's better than Bruno, and also faster. The one thing I felt really bad about in the Community Shield and in this game is I know Bruno's not fast. He can see the ball. You can see he can see the ball. The offside where he scored the goal from the Community Shield, he saw the ball, but he needed that step. He needed that step ahead, right? That's how he got caught offside. I need him to be behind basically, and I need more Xerxes minutes in particular. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go even more boring than you. I'm going to go 1-0, 1-0 Onana masterclass.
Why not?
Please, yeah, just don't kick the ball straight out, Onana. That's all I want. When you want to hoof it, no, don't hoof it out. That's all. Just hoof it to somebody, whoever
Yeah,
is there. Yeah.
yeah. Don't do
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Animesh. Thank you everyone for joining in. We will sign off now. I just need to Animesh has to go, and also I also said Bana, and I don't want to take too much of Animesh time. He's had a long
No,
day
no,
and stuff.
that's okay. I actually have just unfortunately my child just woke up. That's why I said I probably will have to
It's
close it.
all even better excuse. Even better excuse to cut it short. I like that. That's even better. Yeah. Thank you so much. Football bloody hell. Uh, I would love to join anytime, and I mean it, anytime, especially in the night because I
No,
always
no, of
watch
course,
you guys. I'm there.
of course.
If you want any panelists, if you want me to fill in, I'm more than happy to do so. Thank you so much for giving us your time.
No, no,
Football bloody hell
more of
again.
you. Yeah.
MUSC Mumbai on Twitter, X. Sorry. Yeah, so I will. I'm looking forward to. If you want, we can do this regularly. If you have time, I would love to do this regularly with you and talk to you. It's nice to talk to someone else. Talking to the camera can get very tiring, and I do that for like 8 9 hours every weekend. So it's like it's quite jarring from time to time. But yes, thank you. Anytime you need me, do call me. And thank you guys for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe to both our channels. Get us up there. Looking forward to more content, obviously from the number one fan club in the number one city, this country, India. Looking forward to more content from there. And
Done.
I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take care. Good night.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.